versus Naama tied up 1-1.
Yes.
And the map is going to be Shakura's Plateau. The exact choice I would have expected from Naama.
Yes. I think this is a great map choice for a couple of reasons. First is aggressive barracks plays are really good here. That doesn't mean that's what Naama has to do, because late in the game, this map is so tough for the Zerg player. If Terran can control Xel'Naga towers, it becomes super difficult for Zerg to take those low ground expansions.
Oh yes. And I mean,
yeah.
As we look at the map, in the mid-game, the big essential problem that the Zerg has is it's extremely rough to manage drops. The Terran can control the center and then drop the top and bottom back and forth, and the Zerg has such a difficult time managing those expansions. We're going to take a look at that when we hop in-game.
Yes, indeed. But before we talk anymore, let's introduce these players spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, currently tied 1-1. It is Naama.
And in the bottom left, the extremely strong ZV tier showing a little bit of mortality in this series. Hoping for the win, it's Liquid Ret. And if you direct your eyes down to the mini-map with me, we can see that right in the center where these Xel'Naga watchtowers are, Terran can easily hold both of them once he sets up a good push. And with that, if he drops up here and sees the Mutalisks, he knows he has a clean path to drop at the bottom. With control over the center, he doesn't have to worry as much about Mutalisks intercepting the medevacs. He can see very clearly the positioning of his opponent. And exactly as you were saying, if you control this watchtower, there's almost no chance Zerg can get that expansion.
You're right. You're exactly right. It gives Terran a staging ground right there in the center of the map, cutting the push distance in half and actively denying 2 possible expansions for Zerg. So sometimes when we see these 40-minute games, Terran is able to effectively relegate Zerg to just 4, maybe 5 bases if you count these islands on the top and bottom, whereas Terran is easily able to take his 5th and 6th bases on the low ground right outside of his natural.
Now here's an interesting maneuver. We see the gas before barracks play. That does mean that Naama has something aggressive in mind, but on this map it makes me wonder what. Oftentimes people will get that early refinery when they want to go for a very fast Hellion play. And that I think is a reasonable choice on other maps, but on this one, look at that tiny ramp. Hellions aren't going to be able to do too much good.
Yeah, the other possibility is like a single gas Banshee type play we've seen before, but I really feel like Banshees in ZVT are kind of phasing out as Zerg players have just learned all the timings. It's really hard to surprise a Zerg player with Banshees these days.
Only 2-port Banshee, I think, is a reasonable thing nowadays, using the overwhelming power of the Banshee to take them out. We see that Overlord getting a good look at absolutely everything, and Ret, again, very bold with that Overlord timing, has a good sense of when he can get away with sneaking into the main, and there's the fast factory.
Yes, indeed. Ret will be able to hide this Overlord just off the edge of the main base here. And this is really cool because he will be able to poke it in and see gas timings. He'll be able to look up here at the add-ons on these buildings. And he's going to be virtually unhittable by any sort of Marines. So Naama is opting to throw down the reactor, so it will be some kind of a Hellion opening. Ret, once again, 15 hatch, 15 spawning pool, and, well, was it pool before, gas before pool? I don't know. I didn't see the gas go down. But he's mining gas, and he'll be starting his speed shortly.
Yeah, Liquid Ret looks like he got his gas a little while after that spawning pool. We see that Liquid Ret is hiding his Overlord smartly at this back side, so then he can just poke right on in. He's positioning it very close to these tech structures, so that way he can get the good look at what's up. We see Naama going for the double Hellion play, but again, that kind of makes me tilt my head a little bit. What would be the main goal of getting Hellions this quickly? Well, it looks like Naama is going to be doing, I think, the very aggressive Banshee Hellion play, or he could just be going for very fast Hellion drops.
Yeah, it could be Hellion drop, could be some sort of Marine Hellion elevator. He hasn't really been making enough Marines yet to convince me that that's what he's up to, but look at this, he's rallying the barracks right over there to where the starboard's positioned, so it could be something like that. And the other option, the other possibility, and I think you're right on with that one, Day9, is the possibility of a Banshee coming out.
Yeah, the Hellion Banshee play is kind of an interesting one. You can catch these queens off guard, deal a little bit of extra damage to them. Look at Liquid Ret just easily blow. Oh no, whoa, Naama.
Ooh, all the way up into the main base is Naama. He's, well, there's actually not a queen in the main base, so he could kill quite a few drones here. 2 of them falling very quickly. Queen being rallied back, but oh my gosh, Ret is taking way more.
No.
Oh my, 5 drones have already died. More Hellions in production. And wow, man, Rhett misstepping severely here. So, he was as surprised by these Hellions as you were, Day 9.
I was very shocked to see Rhett misplay with those queens. Not quite contain them properly. Oh, they are so lined up. I can't believe it.
8 worker kills here for Naama with just these first 2 Hellions. That is absolutely impeccable. It will be Hellion drop play Day 9. 4 Hellions are out, medevac on the way. So as soon as Rhett's state, look at this Hellion still running in circles around Rhett's main base. Excellent control here by Naama.
See, Rhett realizes he can't afford to get a bunch of Zerglings right now to pick this off. He needs to rely just on this queen. That is exactly what Naama wants, as you say. We see the tech lab popping up, and where is that one medevac? There it is, heading in towards the main. The Hellion finally is finished. Liquid Red finally begins adding on more drones, but Naama is in a very, very strong position to eliminate the entire worker collection.
There's just no units out for Rhett, and 4 more Hellions are going to come right in. They're going to easily be able to deal with these Zerglings. Will he pick up the one? No, 1 Hellion falling there, miscontrolled there. Was Naama. Drones a little bit lined up, but the Hellion's not in the best position. Naama is just going for the drones.
Oh, it looks like Rhett turning the tide very rapidly, getting just enough Zerglings up in time, and suddenly what looked like Naama's game is suddenly swinging very far into Rhett's favor.
Yeah, you know, for all the good control that Naama exhibited in the initial Hellion harass, that drop was very, very poorly controlled. Rhett going to sacrifice an overlord here. He's going to see a factory with a tech lab and a barracks with a reactor. That doesn't tell him a whole lot. I'm not sure if Rhett saw that there's no expansion for Naama. And this is something that we really have to... Ooh, Rhett is going to just... He's going to run right in here. Oh, Naama, you might be just dead.
Oh, it looks like an attempted repair. It looks like the Marines reinforcements arrived just in time. Naama does not take too many losses, but my gosh, if we go look at that unit tab, 13 workers killed off. And the units lost, though, can be a little deceptive. We see that there has been plenty lost on both sides, and right now with that layer done, Naama knows that a Spire could be coming up at any point, but no Baneling Nest is going to be the option.
It really seems like Naama's plan went terribly wrong as he put a tech lab on that starport and he hasn't used it for anything. Just now he's going to make his first Banshee and it's rallied to his natural, so kind of curious about that maneuver. And just now Naama starts his command center in the natural. That is a very, very late natural expand.
And Naama being way too over-aggressive right now. The Watchtower is in possession of Liquid Red. He has a couple Lings out on the field, and with this Baneling Nest finishing up, he may very well skip out on the Mutalisk play and go straight into the mass Zergling Baneling bust to try to just get a quick, clean win.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think it's necessarily the worst move given that Naama's expansion is so late. His macro has been quite held up. We have a bit of a push here coming out onto the creep of Rhett. Will Naama continue to move forward? Looks like he just wants to try and kill a few tumors before backing up one more time with the run by. This time there is a wall in place, and the SCV with the Banshee behind it should be able to repair and keep Naama in pretty good shape.
Naama is going to pull back with that force upon killing off as many creep tumors as he could. Unfortunately, Red still has 4 active creep tumors, even though we're only at this early stage in the game. A third base planted for Rhett. Naama going to land the Viking and begin taking some shots at it.
Yeah, he's. I don't think it would literally take this Viking forever to kill this hatchery. Lings are going to show up, and the Viking will promptly lift. It should promptly lift. It better promptly lift, and it does not so promptly lift with only 23 hit points left. Command center finally done here for Naama. Worker tab shows us a huge, huge difference in these economies. 35 SCVs, 60 drones.
Wow.
Rhett is. He's going to be happy. Well, he would be happy if he knew exactly what the worker counts were.
And I mean, the unit count isn't even particularly high. Under 20 Marines, no stim done, no combat shield done. Does he even have siege mode? He doesn't. It's a bunch of basic tech. At the bottom, we see a single Banshee trying to do a little bit of damage, but it realizes, ooh, he might be able to win that one-on-one with the Queen. He's got to be very careful if he miscontrols this. Does manage to get the Queen down. Got to be careful, though. A few shots from that Queen number 2, and see you later.
So careless with his control this game. He's killed 15 workers, but you really wouldn't know it to see the state of the game right now. 60 drones to 38 SCVs, and Naama, I feel like he just focused too much on one basing. You know, he did some okay damage, but it certainly didn't justify waiting for his expand as long as he did. And now Rhett is in pretty much, you know, he's in control. Still, is there a Spire yet? Yeah, there's a Spire, and it's completed, and the first mutas are on the way out.
We did see a Zergling embarrassingly defeating a Marine in a one-on-one fight. That does mean Naama has absolutely no map presence in the slightest, save for this one single medevac that is just doing his own thing.
Yep.
Just making sure there is in fact creep and a bunch of units.
The old
He can
scouting
confirm.
medevac.
Yeah, there's the scout medevac letting him know. Yep, there's some mutas on the field. Better build some turrets. And it looks like Naama doing his large flood of barracks. I feel like there's some macro missteps by Naama, but how can you blame him after his opening was about to win the game and it just suddenly went plummeting south?
Yeah, it just kind of fell to pieces. There's one turret in the main base, and one turret building in the natural expand right now. So Naama doesn't have that much in the way of anti-air or static defense in regards to anti-air. But Rhett's Mutalisk count only at 8 right now. Rhett always positioning Lings in a position to backdoor as soon as his opponent pushes out. I don't think Naama has any intentions of leaving his base anytime soon, though, as we see these tanks in a very, very defensive position, sieged up behind that wall. Marines put position to deal with Mutalisks, and just more turrets going down here for Naama. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to secure a third base day 9, because, I mean, Rhett, 30 supply up already.
I mean, Rhett is very much so in his comfort zone. He's adding on the extra evolution chambers to upgrade those Zerglings. Mutalisks are starting to head down to the south side. One single Zergling from Liquid Rhett is all that is seen by Naama. So this pack can remain very well concealed up at the north, and when Rhett begins sweeping into this right side, it's very difficult for Naama to really know where to position his units.
Yes, indeed. Rhett does poke forward with these Lings, realizing that the Marines are out in the center of the map, and Rhett's just going to go for it. Oh, Muta's there as well.
Great play by Rhett. He's going to pick off that medevac. He has all the Zerglings streaming forward. The Marines try to run, but they get all nabbed. And the siege tank fire is not enough to help save that pack of Marines.
Yeah, one more big win for Rhett. 156 supply to just 110 of his Terran opponent. And, you know, Naama pumping double factory. Well, he's got a Thor building in one of them. It was double factory siege tank for a little while. But he's just so far behind in terms of supply. He's never going to be able to secure a third base. I mean, he might eventually be able to float down to the low ground third, but Rhett has just got expansions everywhere. He's got a ton of drones, 81 drones for Rhett.
Wow.
Naama leaving his base once again, and I do expect to see another Zergling run by as soon as Rhett realizes what's up.
But Naama has only 25 Marines, which really surprises me. I mean, that goes to show you that if you lose just a few here and there throughout the game, that when your final big push comes, you may not have very much to do good things with. Now we have the Zergling swinging around, picking off a single tank. Does not quite get the chance to pierce into the main, but still, these Mutalisks from Rhett easily able to snatch up a couple more Marines.
Yes, indeed. Naama slowly but surely trying to advance his position so that he can take and secure a third base. But you know what? Rhett's going to max out even before that third command center starts up, man. He's got 23 mutas, and look at all the Banelings day 9. 27 in play, and a few more morphing. Rhett is looking so good right now.
Oh gosh, Naama, he does have the Thors. I mean, he actually has all the right units, but he just doesn't have enough of them. He's going to try to position these tanks up on the high ground, but this is going to be the worst move of all time. Oh!
Wow.
Some big shots from those Thors. I really think the only way that Naama can win is if he gets some huge Thor shots off.
Yeah, that's he's really going to be relying on something similar to that. Maxed out is Rhett. 126 of 126 is Naama, who's supply blocked and not building a supply depot. Naama, oh dear.
I think Rhett's going to help with the supply block problem. Here comes the Banelings. There's the stem. He gets cornered against the wall. Marines trying to micro. Naama's army gets absolutely decimated.
Wow, wow, wow. Rhett just disintegrating the Terran army.
There's
the GG.
Rhett begins his move in that group with a solid 2-1 result, and he ended up losing that first game, but again, maintaining true to his form, that calm, stable, resilient Zerg versus Terran style.